Earlier today, we had a pretty big Regulation H tour. This was a tournament with 450 plus players, and it had $1,000 prize pool for the top 4 players. So pretty damn big. This was a tournament hosted by Himmy Turner, and there were some pretty big names that helped him with the casting as well. Guys like Nina, Pokebros, and Chopper Cross, two of the biggest names in the VGC scene. And yeah, this was a pretty massive tournament. There was a lot of people who were live streaming their, their point of views. And because of that, we had a lot of great games on the stream. I will link the stream down below. I think it was a fantastic viewing experience. Definitely my favorite grassroots event really I've ever seen. So I would highly recommend going to watch it if you guys want to see some top tier, Regulation H gameplay, really. There was also a lot of really good players in it as well. A bit of a spoiler here, but Cynic was the eventual winner. There's a team he had as well, but yeah, we had some pretty big names in this event. Brady, aka VGC Corner, finished second in the event. It went, to a three game finals. I actually was originally planning on doing a video on the finals, but unfortunately we had to use Brady's point of view. And I think he was recording it off his phone, so I was like, it's probably not the best viewing experience. But nonetheless, if you guys want to see it, that is there. Very good showing by him. He took out Sempra in the top 4. Obviously, Sempra regional champion and a very talented player who was also, I believe, streaming their run. Sempra also took out Joseph Ugarte, aka Joe UX9, in the top 32 in Swiss, which is crazy because at the time Joe was 9-0, hadn't dropped a game, and then Sempra swept him. Moxie boosted. Marcos, again, he streamed his run today. Had a very strong showing here, getting top 16. His losses were he lost to Joe. I don't know who beat him in top 16. But yeah, Joe was his first loss of the day. They played 6-0. So yeah, a lot of big names in this event, right? A lot of very good players. Bravado, a fellow Australians there. My guy G-Man as well also played. Zach Lee, another very talented player, right? So a very big event. Quite a bit of money on the line, being $1,000. And yeah, we have a lot of, I guess, really interesting information we can kind of touch on here. So I guess before we jump into the teams as well, I do want to have a quick look at the metagame tab. Just because I think it is definitely interesting to look at. So Rillaboom right now, the #1 most used one. In the tier list we did yesterday, I did say that I think Rillaboom would take over as the best Pokemon in the format, or at least, the most used. So I'm not surprised to see it there. Golden Go taking Incin for #2, I did find really interesting. But yeah, Incin, yeah, sitting at #3, I'm not too surprised about. Archaludon being as high as it was to me was crazy. Same with Pelipper. Don't get me wrong, I know Rain's good, but when you have 450 players and 30% of players bring Rain, I think that's absolutely insane. We see Ape and Blood Moon as well, two of the, the best Pokemon in the format. Definitely kind of require a team to be built around them, but both, sitting at 90 usage there, which is probably, what's that, 20% roughly, is still pretty good, obviously. But yeah, you see a lot of variety, right? We see Palafin here as well, getting some shine. We see a bit of Primarina, which one of the premier water types right now. Seeing Hydreigon so low on the usage was kind of crazy to me. Seeing Dragapult being the second most used dragon as well, I think is also very interesting. Another one too is Baskia Legion was only on 1/3 of Pelipper teams, which is also kind of crazy because I think that Baskia Legion is as important as Archaludon on some of those teams. Just having that strong water type is really good. But yeah, if you guys want to look, again, I'll link this down below so you guys can have a look at the stats yourself. But there's a lot of really cool stuff there. Getting 13 Politoads as well is not too bad, especially when it goes above 50%. Sylveon as well. What the hell was that? Dude, Sylveon only 14 players. People need to play Sylveon more. This one's really good. I think it's probably the second best fairy in the game right now. At least offensive fairy type. Obviously, #1 right now is Prim. But yeah, there's no stats there. If you guys want to look at it, obviously you can go take a look at that. Go a bit more in depth. But yeah, let's take a look at some of these teams, right? This was, again, this was really cool to see. One thing I will quickly mention is there was 4 Pelippers in the top 5, technically top 8, I guess. But just because they have the point system and whatnot for how many wins, actually it would be 4 of them in the top 6. But yeah, as I said, Cynic and VGC Corner, you guys can go watch their games over on Himmy's Himmy's Twitch. He's got it up there, but yeah, look, a really cool team here. Sinister being on the winning team was really cool. Unfortunately, we didn't actually get to see Sinister or Incineroar in the finals. But the rest of the Rain mode here, it was Mouse 8 plus Rain did put in quite a bit of work actually. Obviously, Maushold plus Annihilate, it is really good when you pair it with Archaludon because it just gives you 2 mons to beat up, right? You can beat up Rage Fist, so you can beat up the Stamina. So it gives Maushold 2 really good friends there. And then with Torn and Safety Goggles, it completely shuts down Amoonguss, which is also really good. And then again, of course, Archaludon pairs incredibly well with Pelipper. Yeah, it's just a really strong team, right? I feel like we've touched on it, quite a bit recently when we look at some of these events. Really, just these Pelipper Rain teams with Archaludon is just really good. Maushold Ape also fit incredibly well on it. But yeah, the real big one, I guess, for Cynic's team here is the Sinister. It was really interesting to see them pull it out. but it is a pretty solid grass type nonetheless. Obviously, it gives you a bit of healing for Annihilate. It's a second redirection mon as well. And yeah, like Life Dew plus Trick Room does make this mon pretty hard to deal with. And yeah, Matcha Gotcha is a pretty busted signature move, if I'm being honest. The chance to burn is, it can swing a game quite heavily if you get that burn proc. Of course, Brady here. Brady did put up a post about the team. I don't think he said too much about it. But this is I don't want to say a relatively standard team, but it does have a lot of really common pieces you expect to see on Rain. Obviously, Peli, Arch, and Golden Go. Golden Go being like the other big one on these Rain teams. And then they've rounded it out with Amoonguss and Incin. Now, one thing Brady did say is he felt like the Incin felt a bit weird at times. It seemed to me like it was probably the weakest link of the team. It didn't come in the finals at all. And yeah, I don't think it even came in the semis, because we also got to see the games against Sempra, and again, I don't think he brought Incin even into like the Basque Legion stuff, so it kind of shows like how hard it is to play. The Grimstar was like definitely the MVP in the Sempra series in my opinion. Its ability just to set up screens for Golden Go, and then like you just have Golden Go behind screens was kind of crazy. But yeah, look, it's a really good team. Obviously, Amoonguss is a fantastic redirection support. It's very, very good at healing up Archelodon and Pelipper as well. And yeah, like Archelodon and Golden Go, I meant. And Pelipper is just, it's really good right now. It's a Tailwind setter, has two really good stab moves, both of which are pretty valuable in the current metagame. And Rain is just kind of broken right now. So yeah, really cool team here by Brady. Again, check him out on Twitter. If you guys don't follow VGC Corner, check him out. He's one of the best resources in the game, if you ask me. He does a lot of really good in-depth breakdowns on teams. He puts out some pace as well for some of the top meta teams as well. So definitely check him out. Now, this team here, I don't think I actually got to see it in action, unfortunately. But this is another really cool team as well, right? This is... Oh, actually, maybe I did get this. I think I'm lying. I think we actually did get to see this in action, because I'm pretty sure there was a game against the Rain team where he was just leading his Hydreigon, getting up Tailwind, and then Blood Moon Ursaluna was just sweeping in the back. I actually think I lied. I'm pretty sure... Yeah, we did, because he would just lead Rillaboom Hydreigon into Rain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we saw this team. I'm almost certain we actually did now. But yeah, again, really, really cool take here. Obviously, it's not a Rain team, but it does have a lot of really interesting pieces. The Prim, this is, I guess, a decent way to run it as well, because it doesn't rely on the Throat Spray as much. Basically, this is just like your two stab moves plus Haze. Like, Prim is your Dozo matchup. It kind of hardballs every variant of Dozo outside of like Terra Grass, Terra Blast. But in Open Team Sheet, that's coming. Hydreigon on lead. This is a bit more of a supportive set, but it was obviously really cool to see. Can't fake it out. It is a relatively fast Tailwind one in the current metagame. And just its stab moves are really good. Snarl can be fantastic into things like Blood Moon Ursaluna. Obviously, you just got to be careful of the Annihilates. Of course, Mouse Ape is really good. We also got to see quite a bit of Mouse or Blood Moon Ursaluna as well, making Blood Moon really hard to deal with. And again, you just like, one, you give it Friend Guard, two, you can just redirect attacks for it. It's very good. And Rillaboom, best mon in the format. Same with Annihilate, one of the best, Pokemon we have in the game. Pairs incredibly well with the mouse. Went a little bit too far there. Sempra, again, we got to see Sempra on stream quite a few times. I think we got to see... Actually, I don't know if we got to see him play Joe. Part of me feels like we did, but I was watching it while I was at work, and I had to, like, dip from, like, I think I missed the top 32, and then maybe even top 16. I might have got the back end of top 16, I forget. But yeah, really cool team here by Sempra. Again, we got to see the Rain mode a lot. And Choice Banded Basque Legion in the Rain does a lot of damage, guys. Yeah, Terra Water, Choice Banded Wave Crash. You are just one-shotting a lot of bonds. And when there's a Basque Legion, there is a way. This one can make some pretty nasty comebacks, man. I will say, though, the match with Sempra and Emmy, it was incredible. You should definitely go watch that. It was a very good best of 3. Yeah, definitely check that one out. But yeah, again, a relatively standard team here. Peli, Basque Legion, Archelodon. Amoonguss kind of always finds a way onto these teams. Incin as well. And then going for the King Gambit over someone like the Golden Go is pretty good as well, because I think it gives you a nice matchup into the Gambit, which is pretty important. So into the Golden Go here. And then another Rain team here again. We see, once again, the King Gambit. This is basically the same team we just looked at, but instead of Incineroar, it has Salamence, which to me makes a lot of sense. I was testing quite a bit of Scarf Salamence in Rain at the start of the format, and I think it's pretty good. Having a stab Hurricane off a mon like Salamence is definitely very good. It does hit a bit harder than Pelipper as well. So yeah, definitely something worth keeping in mind. But yeah, basically the same team we just looked at. He's got Terra Grass here instead of Terra Water, which is also not bad as well, because it allows you to ignore Amoonguss, right? You can just ignore Rage Powders and, throw Wave Crashes into their friends, which is pretty damn good. But yeah, this is, again, same shit. This is just Peli, Arch, Basque Legion just putting in work, absolutely dominating. We get to see this team here as well. Now, this team was sick. So this is Emmy. As I said, Emmy was the one, I believe, who went to... I think her and Sempra played top 8, I'm pretty sure. This is a sick team, and I'm going to, kind of explain why, right? So, Obviously, you look at this. This is a team built around Annihilate. And it has some really good support pieces, right? So obviously, one, you've got the mouse hold here, right? We all kind of know what it does, right? It beat up, does a thing, fantastic, right? Then you got the Comfey, which is like, hey, I can heal you up with my floral healing, but I'm also like draining Kiss on your weakness policy. And so what you can do is, one, you don't have to Terra. You can just like, draining Kiss it, you'll activate it. But two, if you're in a situation where you need to Terra Dragon, you just like Terra Dragon, same thing. You still draining Kiss it, then you can heal it up. It's really, really good. You have Arzu as well, which pairs really well with Comfey as well, because you can just go like Belly Drum and then just like side floral healing and kind of keep going from there. Scope Lens Hydreigon, this is pretty standard at this stage. Very interesting to see no Terra, no Dark move on it. But Terra Fire, Heat Wave obviously does give you some pretty good spread damage. But the really interesting piece here to me is this guy right here, the Salazzle. So I should say girl, sorry. Yeah, Salazzles can only be females. But this to me was one of the most interesting techs on the team. So obviously, Fake Out, it is one of the fastest Fake Out mons in the game. Very good because of that. It's very fragile. Because of that, it is a very good focus sash holder. Heat Wave obviously is its primary stab. But we have Poison, Gas, Corrosion. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've like never seen this in VGC, but to my knowledge, this is a spread move that poisons. It's basically toxic, but it hits both enemies. I'm pretty sure it's like 85% chance, but the reason it's 85% accurate, I should say. But the reason that's really cool is because of corrosive, you can like, poison things like Archelodon, right? So, you can lead this like next to a mouse hold or whatever, and you just like corrosion, and then you can like play a slower game with like maybe, you bulk up, your floral healing, all that kind of stuff. But then the other one here was the Dragon Cheer. You might look at this team, you're like, oh yeah, like, Salazzle plus Hydreigon. Obviously, it's like a really cool combo. You can go for like the focus energy plus like Fake Out, or you can even go like Fake Out Draco into Dragon Cheer Draco. But to me, I think the coolest tech here is this. So basically, my understanding is you set up your ape, right? You get the weakness policy off. And then you just Dragon Cheer it, and then it's just always like, it's not always critting, but it's critting 50% of the time, right? So 50% of the time, you're like Rage Fist that's buffed up, just crits. 50% of the time, you Drain Punch just crits, and you just heal it all back. Yeah, this was a really cool team here by Emmy. I'm not gonna lie, definitely one of my favorite teams I saw throughout the event. So yeah, shout out to her. Really, really cool team there. We have a team here. This one's like super interesting. I'll kind of try to explain some of the pieces I see here. So obviously Golden Go, it's set up with Rillaboom, one of the best, one of the most consistent, combos in the game. It's just very, very good. Clef here is really good for a couple of reasons. One, it is probably like one of the best offensive fairy types that actually sees play right now. But two, with safety goggles, Unaware, and Follow Me, you basically hardwall Dondozo and you hardwall Amoonguss, which is definitely very, very good. You've also got Volcarona here sitting up. Not bad. I do think setup Volk is actually pretty good right now. I think Fire Grass coverage together goes really nice. Obviously, Hydreigon, we kind of spoke about it before, but this guy kind of just wants to click his focus energy and start critting everything. And then the best placement we saw from an Aqua Breed as well. I think Aqua Breed is really good right now. Has a very good matchup into Hydreigon in particular. You're able to outspeed it and one-shot with close combat, especially too because a lot of them previously were running Terra Steel. And I do think we are starting to see a bit more Terra Fire for a couple different reasons. But yeah, even then, if they are Terrify, you just kind of wave crash it, and it's the same thing. Another thing as well to keep in mind is if screens continue to pick up, obviously they do get Raging Bull, which breaks screens, which is obviously a very good tech to have, especially on a Pokemon that is pretty damn good. And then the final team for the top 8 here is this team here. So this one to me is really interesting because it has the Zoroark that I have personally been talking about a little bit as of late. Obviously Zoroark's, or Hisuian Zoroark I should say, sorry. Its biggest thing is it has a very positive matchup into Mouseape. Basically, Mouseape cannot touch it outside of Beat Up. And realistically, like, Beat Up's doing, like, no freaking damage at all to Hisuian Zoroark. So, because of that, I believe you are absolutely fine. But yeah, we have a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of interesting pieces. We have 2 interesting pieces, right? But yeah, you've got the Garganacl here. Obviously, it's got Salt Cure, Wide Guard, Recover. It's just annoying, right? It's basically going to sit there. It's going to Salt Cure you, and then it's just going to heal up and, protect its friends. Rillaboom, Golden Go, I'm not going to say much about them. You guys kind of know what they do at this point. Same with Mouseape, right? It's pretty standard. These 4 Pokemon here are kind of, like, it's just standard, right? Mouse Golden Go is also really good as well. Having Follow Me plus Friend Guard next to, like, a Specs, Terra Steel, Golden Go, it's just, you protect it and you pump out damage, you set up for the mons in the back. But yeah, really cool team here. But yeah, the Zoroark to me, it is cool to see this get top 8 because I've said I think this mon's good. And I've had some comments and some videos from people telling me it's not good and I'm coping. Well, guess what? It's in the fucking top 8 of a like 450 player event. So it's got something. Yeah, it's got something. But yeah, look, then we have some other teams here. I don't want to go through all of them just because a lot of these, like, I don't want to say they're all pretty standard, but like this team here, like, I feel like we've seen this before. This is like our first Palafin rain team of the event here in 10th place. And it does have the AVD Knight. Now, I will say AVD Knight is pretty damn good. We are seeing it, you know, pick up quite a bit in the best of one ladder. With Assault Vest and Inner Focus, it's just really good into a lot of things. The fact that you can just go like Terra Fly and Terra Blast into things like Amoonguss is fantastic. Having, you know, access to things like Stompy T as well is also really nice. Same with Low Kick. There's a lot of Pokemon in the metagame right now you'd love to Low Kick because it just deals a lot of freaking damage to him. Splash Plate Palafin here. Obviously, this is just double stab plus haze for Dondozo. Yeah, nothing too crazy here. Again, like we're seeing like Mouse and Gold. That's like, you know, the homie Winter Knight absolutely loves his combo. He thinks it's better than like Rilla Gold, I think, and like even like Gus Gold. Yeah, you have Friend Guard. You just go like, you know, things like Follow Me, Super Fang, and then you just chip things down for Golden Go because realistically, nothing wants to eat a +2, make it rain right before they get Super Fang. Or sorry, right after they get Super Fang. So yeah, really cool take there. Dude, how does this keep happening? I clicked back and it went, goddamn. This team here, though, was one I really want to talk about. So, one, I'm a huge fan of Talonflame. I've, you know, said it a couple times. It is really interesting to see Lorb on this set instead of Sharpbeak. I'm sure there is a particular reason they've done it. I would really like to know what the calc is they've gone for there. Pre-Marina with Throat Spray, that's the set I've personally been testing a lot. I think it's fantastic. With Haze, you're just really good into Dozo. You know, Specs Hydreigon's interesting to see. Obviously, set up Golden Go. Very interesting on this team to actually have set up Golden Go without, like, Fake Out or Follow Me. Gastro has a very good matchup into a lot of these rain teams. But the big one here is this guy right here, Hisuian Deki Dewey. Now, Decidueye, right? I have to say Decidueye. I'm getting roasted for my pronunciations. But Decidueye is really interesting in the current metagame. One, it has Scrappy, so thanks to Scrappy, it can't be intimidated, which is fantastic. Two, it is able to hit ghost types with fighting type moves, which is very, very important because we're in a metagame where it feels like nothing can really deal with Golden Go, or at least not really effectively. And then Decidueye, or at least Hisuian Decidueye, can actually do quite a good job into it, right? So, Triple Arrows, for those who don't know, has got to be one of the most broken moves ever created. Like, this is a move, right, where, one, it's 90 base power, so it's like 90 base power with like 100% accuracy. Two, it has a 50% chance to lower your defense by one stage. Three, it has a 30% chance to flinch. And then four, it's a high crit rate move. So with Triple Arrow and Leaf Blade, I believe that puts you at +2, which I think is a 50% chance to crit. Because that's why they've got like Razor Claw plus, you know, the two, I guess, high crit moves here. So this one is like doing a lot of crit work. And yeah, you're just like one-tapping a Golden Go. You have to, like, I was looking at calcs earlier, like really bulky Golden Goes can live it, but like they're not living a crit and they're not living 2. And it's, yeah, it's pretty rough. And yeah, with like Scrappy plus Upper Hand, like you can just like beat Fake Out Mons, right? Like, you know, they lead their Incin. Okay, Incin, well, I can't, you know, can't intimidate it. And if you like Upper Hands me on my Fake Out, I'm going to take like way too much damage. So this is a mon. It's going in my builder probably tonight or tomorrow. I think it's really interesting and has some really cool matchups. And yeah, I'm excited to test this mon out. But for me, this team here is really cool to look at. I'm a big fan of these top 3 mons here in particular for Firewater Grass Core. So I'm kind of going to like steal it and definitely take a look at it. I think it has a lot of potential. Marcos, aka Mr. Moxie Boosted. I'm sure if you watch me, you know who Moxie is. But yeah, this is a cool team by Moxie. Again, this looks like a relatively standard Pelipper Rain team, right? It's like you've got your Fire Water Grass stuff with like Rilla Incin plus Water type, right? Noah Chaladon, which I did think was pretty interesting. But it does have like a Specs Golden Go. Obviously, Palafin in Rain's pretty broken. But Marcos was absolutely cooking with this Chestnut, man. This is, one, it's double Grassy Glide, right? So it's Rillaboom and Chestnut, so he does have Grassy Glide Chestnut. But then he also just has Belly Drum Citrus Berry. So he can, like, there's a few different ways you can do this, right? Normally, you're probably just leading it with Incin or Rilla. Then you're just clicking Belly Drum. And then if you get a Drain Punch off, fantastic. You go back to, like, full HP. And if they, like, don't have a Grass Resist, you are just Grassy Gliding everything in terrain and just removing them from the game. Yeah, really cool team by Marcos. Again, he did stream this whole run on his Twitch. I believe if I click that, I think it takes me to Himmy's stream. But yeah, like check out Marcos or Moxie Boosted on Twitch, and you can like watch his whole run. I'm sure the VOD's still there. So like really, really cool team there as well. We did actually get to see No Face, a Japanese player as well, play. I believe they played the Blood Moon team I spoke about earlier, right? Where's the Blood Moon team? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they played this guy here in top 16. I'm pretty sure because like I remember Gengar like and Politoed in the game. But yeah, this team here, absolutely cooking. I love it. I think Politoed is a very interesting Rainmon right now. It is like, it's hard because I think Pelipper's matchup into like Rillaboom and Amoonguss is kind of why we're seeing it get more play. Because like, in my opinion, like in a vacuum, Politoed's a better mon. It's much bulkier. It's like offensively like the same. And it also doesn't have the flying type. But like again, Hurricane is just really good right now. The ability to not, just get one tap by like Woodhammer is also really good right now. But yeah, Politoed getting a top 16 placement shows that it is good. Obviously pairs really well with Basque Legion. Rilla Insane are just fantastic supports for it. Of course, Archelodon in the rain is just a very good mon. But the final piece of this team was Gengar. Now, it probably is worth mentioning that they did run double Perish Song, but there is no way to actually trap with this team. So the way I kind of look at it is like they're probably going something like Politoed plus Basque Legion. And they're essentially just using that to like pick up a quick kill or two and then just like get to an end game where they just go like Perish, Protect, Pivot around. But yeah, really cool team here by No Face. I really enjoyed watching it in action. Are there any other like cool teams here? We see Mars with our first Dozo of the event. I don't really want to talk about Dozo. Oh, dude, actually, this team here is sick. I'm pretty sure the creator of this team put this on Twitter. Again, we actually got to see this top 16 match. I think maybe it was top 32. You might like look at this team. You're like, yeah, that's like a bunch of interesting cats. Yeah, it's like no real speed control. Like it has Trick Room, but it's not really a Trick Room team. This is a Pledge team. This is a team I freaking love. This is a Swamp team. If you've been around the channel for the last like couple months, I love Swamp. I was playing Swamp Primarina and Grovyle. We have Water Pledge here. We have Grass Pledge here on the Decidueye. And then we also have Grass Pledge here on Meowscarada. For anyone, I guess, who doesn't understand how the pledge moves work, I'll quickly explain it here, at least for this one. So when you use the move Water Pledge comboed with either Grass Pledge or, with just Grass Pledge, it creates a move that is 150 base power single target. It is a grass type move, which is unfortunate because the mon that goes last is the one whose attack stat they use. So it's good in the sense that it's using Primarina's special attack stat, but it's also not getting the stab bonus on it unless you like Terra Grass. But basically, it sets up the Swamp. What the Swamp is it quarters the opponent's speed to 1/4 for 4 turns. Now, when you're in a metagame where you have things like a Choice Spec Sylveon on your team, for example, you can kind of run through teams, right? Because, again, we actually got to see it where he set up the Swamp, and then he was in this position where he was just like, and this is also Male and DD as well. We got to see like an endgame situation where it was just expanding force plus like Flower Trick straight through the opponent's team. Like straight through it, ran through it. Fantastic. Again, you've got things like Clear Amulet Arcanine here, which can deal a lot of damage. You've got the Sylveon, who can also deal a lot of damage. Yeah, I love this team. Obviously, we touched on the Decidueye earlier, but it's basically just get up, Swamp, and sweep. Everything on this team is built to deal a lot of freaking damage. And yeah, I absolutely love it. If you want to see it in action, again, go check out the stream. They did have it. Really, really cool team. And how the hell do I keep ending up like doing that? That's crazy. But yeah, look, we see a Sand team here as well. Do I want to go in depth on this? Probably not. I guess we can have a look because it's another Decidueye. 3 Decidueyes in the top 16, which is really cool to see. But yeah, Tita, Sand, apparently it's good. I had a feeling it would be nice. Murkrow here as well for like speed control is also pretty good as well. But yeah, just a really solid team. We are seeing the Clef pop up again, the Goggles stuff as well. As I said, very good matchup into Dozo and to Amoonguss as well, which is obviously very, very nice. T-Tar and Lycanroc can definitely open up holes in opposing teams as well. With things like Endeavor plus Endure as well, this one can be very annoying to deal with. You can Endure, take some hits, click in Endeavor, and then, yeah, kind of just drop something to 1 HP, then they die to Sand Chip. It's really cool, man. Really, really cool tech. Why does it keep doing that to me? It's going back twice when I click it once. But yeah, look, again, there's a lot of really good players here. Like, obviously, the top 16 here is, like, 8-3. Joe Ugarte, it's probably worth looking at his team as well, because he also popped off with the Sylveon here. Again, Joe, like, streamed this whole event. If you want to see his perspective, go watch Joe UX9 on Twitch. Very, very good player. One of the best in the world, if you ask me. But yeah, really cool team here as well by Joe. Very balancey team. Like, it's kind of like you've got these, like, 3, like, setup pieces, in a sense, and then just, like, the 3, like, goats of balance. You've got Intimidate, you've got Double Fake Out, you've got Redirection, Polar Puff, you've got, Grassy Terrain. It's like the 3 horsemen of the Balance Apocalypse. And then it's kind of pick your poison. Do you want to lose to Palance? Do you want to lose to, like, Sylveon setup? Or do you want to lose to, like, Hydreigon critting your whole team? Really good team by Joe. Very unfortunate he lost to Sempra in the top 32, especially because Sempra came in as the 32 seed. He was like the last guy to qualify, and Joe was number 1. And then, yeah, kind of got done, but, you know, is what it is. It happens. We see a pretty cool hard Trick Room team here as well. I'm guessing this is Decorate stuff. It's not Decorate stuff. It is our first Smeagol of the day, though. But, yeah, just like Follow Me, Fake Out, Wide Guard Spore. Pretty standard. Set up Volk here. Obviously, Rilla has to make an appearance on the team. We are seeing the return of Klops and Blood Moon. I did kind of mention that yesterday, that I'm surprised we haven't seen more Klops Blood Moon. But it's here. Obviously, Haze and Willow does make it incredibly good into a lot of the physical attackers, and Dondozo, of course. Not to mention, it's pretty good next to Blood Moon Ursaluna as well. And of course, Araquanid. I mean, it's a pretty good Trick Room mon. And also, double Wide Guard does give this team, you know, quite a bit of options, at least on the supportive side of things, right? You've got these, like, 2 massive damage dealers, 2 pretty solid damage dealers, and then 2, like, hard support. So, really, really cool team there. Dude, I hate this team. Part of me doesn't even want to talk about it, but, like, why people are doing this? Like, I hate this team, man. I guess I'll explain it for anyone who doesn't know what happens here. Basically, you lead Muck Smeagol, and you, like, fake out and start trying to sleep shit while, you know, this guy Muck starts clicking minimize. And then basically what happens is Smeagol eventually, like, follow me's itself to death. And then when it dies, Muck's Power of Alchemy takes Moody. And then, like, by the time the Smeagol dies, Muck's at least, like, +1 to its, like, evasion. Maybe, like, +2 or 3 if they get lucky. And then basically what happens is they'll send out something like Rillaboom or whatever. They'll click Fake Out Protect or, like, Fake Out Knock Off Protect. They'll basically just try rake up the Moody boosts. And then eventually they get into a situation where Flamigo comes in with Co-Star or Espeon comes in with Psych Up. And then the whole game plan is just, you know, you've both got, like, +4 evasion, and you don't really care anymore. It's just is what it is. Which is, again, like, I'm shocked to see it this high, because Murkrow beats this thing hard. Dude, what's happening? Like, Murkrow beats it hard. These Primarina teams with, like, the right support can also beat them pretty hard as well, because you just come in, like, take a, you know, Dark move and then Haze. But yeah, fuck this team, honestly. I absolutely hate it. This is a pretty interesting team. Is this like a... Nah, surely that's just supporting Mousehold, right? I know it is an offensive Mousehold. Wide Lens Pop Bomb. With another Aqua Breed as well. We got the Life Orb, Hydreigon as well, which I think is pretty good. Murkrow, obviously. Oh, Rain Dance Crow, actually. I like that. I think Rain Dance Crow is good. It obviously buffs up the Tauros, and it's also, you know, good defensively for Golden Joe as well. But yeah, I mean, Choice Specs, Golden Girl plus Murkrow is a good combo. It will always stand the test of time. We get to see a Rain team here. I think I covered a team very similar to this. It could actually be the same one from the other day. It's actually slightly different. I think the one I looked at had Twisted Spoon. But yeah, this is really cool as well, where it's like you've got like your Rain mode with like Pelly, Arch, Golden Go, and Amoonguss. But then you also have this Side Spam mode that is also really good, because basically, like, because of Tinted Lens, everything is like at minimum neutral to Expanding Force, except for Dark types, obviously. But, like, yeah, you, like, send in the Golden Go, and, like, Terra Psychic Life Orb in the terrain is just gonna bop it. Really, really good as well. Its signature move, Esper Wing, I like as a lot as well, because you can just go, like, follow me, Esper Wing, you get to, like, +1 speed, and then you start sweeping. So that's a really cool team here. Oh, we actually get our first Blaze Breed as well. Very interesting. Safety Goggles, I do actually like. Raging Bull, Close Combat, Will-O-Wisp. I will say, obviously, it doesn't have, like, a priority move like the Aqua Jet that the Blaze Breed does have. But yeah, obviously, sorry, the Aqua Breed has, but Blaze Breed having access to Will-O-Wisp is very, very cool. But I also like it as well, I think, as a safety goggles mon. That makes a lot of sense. Helps out a lot with Amoonguss as well. But yeah, a really cool team here as well. We're seeing a bit more Gastro rise up. Pretty interesting mon. Dude, I'm actually getting really mad at this. I'm clicking back once, it's going back twice. But yeah, are there any other, like, really cool teams I want to take a look at here? We see a double Evolution team. Dude, I'm gonna get in trouble. I said yesterday Jolteon was a bad mon. I got a comment about it. And we see a Choice Specs Jolteon, boys, in the top 32. I mean, very interesting team. It's just like Sunroom with, like... I mean, wait, actually, Twisted Spoon Expanding Force? How low? Weather Ball? How low? Maybe this is saucy? I don't know. Maybe? But yeah, cool to see two of the Evolutions popping off on the same team there. We see just a lot more Archaladon. Dude, another Hisuian Zoroark in the top 32. I'm absolutely popping off with this call. Another Fairy type as well. The reason Zoroark is really good to pair with Fairy types, by the way, for anyone who, like, doesn't know, is because, like, you can, like, lead this and pretend it's the Primarina. So, like, you know, say, for example, you go, like, Zoroark, Rillaboom on lead, you select Primarina last, they'll be like, okay, this is like a pre-Marina Rillaboom lead. And they both click Hyper Voice as well. So like if it's a neutral attack, you kind of don't know until, I guess, the Life Orb eventually kicks in. But yeah, it's like that turn one surprise where they're like, okay, fake out the Prim. Turns out it's not a Prim, it's a Zoroark. They just hit you with like a Terra Stella, Terra Blast or something, and yeah, you're not having a great time. But yeah, cool to see Zoroark doing so well. I did say I think it's a good mon, so it makes me feel a little bit better to see 2 people in the top 32 get it. But yeah, is there anything else? My guy Ludi here as well making an appearance. It's just like a standalone Ludi. I did say I think Ludi might like pop up as like an anti-rain mon. I would have expected to see it on a rain team myself though. But nonetheless, cool to see. Giga Drain, Terra Blast, and Hydro Pump obviously is pretty damn solid. Dude, this thing's really annoying me. Is there anything else I want to talk about here? I kind of skipped Tanner's team here, like the Duck plus Luna, it's pretty good. We see a really hyper-offensive Glimdozo team as well. I don't really want to go into that. Buzz is here as well at 7-2. Very interesting that he doesn't... Oh, dude, he didn't cut at 7-2. That feels so bad. Dude, 4 players at 7-2 didn't cut? Dude, that's rough. That's really rough. That would have been like our only Kabao over there as well. We see like a Ludi. This looks like very similar to one of the teams I actually was building around. Yeah, like Lorb 3 attacks. That's not my team, is it? I mean, it looks exactly like a team I think I showcased, but obviously it's a pretty standard rain team. I can't claim that. But yeah, cool to see Ludicolo getting some placements as well. The homie G-Man was out here rocking another rain team as well with Sneasler, which is really cool to see. Bravado VGC. I did actually see a team very similar to this with Overquill. Overquill is really interesting in rain right now. Does have a clear amulet on this team, plus it has haze as well. So in the rain, you just like outspeed Dozo and kind of just remove it. And then, yeah, you just kind of just, at that stage, again, you haze a Dozo. It feels pretty damn bad. But yeah, nonetheless, look, a lot of really cool results here. I could honestly sit here all day and talk about it, but we probably won't do that. But yeah, I guess, guys, let me know what you think of the event. As I said, I would highly recommend, if anyone wants to see some Reg G content, Reg H content, go watch the VOD on Himmy's Twitch channel. It was really good stuff, man. It was definitely the most fun I've had actually viewing, you know, these like community events in a very long time. And it also like brings me back to something I posted on Twitter a bit recently as well. And like, it just shows me that we need like a good spectator mode in this game, because honestly, events like this are awesome, right? Obviously, it had 450 players. There was $1,000 cash pool in the line. So because of that, it brought players to the event. But like, as someone who's like a member of the community and makes content, I would love to host my own, you know, tournaments, right? The issue is I can host a tournament, but then it's kind of like, if no one is like who's playing is streaming it, then it's just, it's like, okay, like I'm hosting the event, but can't really do anything. There's probably like no point in me streaming it. Whereas like if there was a spectator mode, I would be like, hey, I can host an event. I don't care if it has 5-10 people playing in it. It'd just be cool to like watch people play, cast the games and all that kind of shit, man. And yeah, I don't know. I see events like this and I'm just sitting here and I'm just praying for Gen 10. I hope for Gen 10 we get a proper spectator mode where we can host, you know, grassroots events like this, you know, community events. And then, you know, through that we could, yeah, we can just, you know, have some fun times, man. It would be awesome, dude. I love this, and it was so good that so many people streamed the event for Himmy to go and like watch their streams. It was, yeah, it was unreal. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll yeah, I guess let me know what you think of the event down below, if you're surprised by any of the picks and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.